July this year, so probably
Good evening. I'd like to call the August 26th Town Board meeting to order. Everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to thank everyone for coming tonight. So first, we're going to start off a public hearing that we have, and we are good to go on a public hearing, all the surveys and everything.
Yeah, the only modification is looks like we agree on the line, but the maps are being updated to have the area, so we can have a public hearing, but we're gonna clean up the area and then go ahead. It has to actually be hashed out on the survey, but this is a public hearing as to whether we should make the taking for public purposes.
Okay, great. All right, so then, do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
Motion. Second.
Motion second, and I am in favor, so public hearing is open. Now, this is in regards, for those who don't remember, acquisition of certain property located within the town of Fallsburg. So, as you know, we have the South Fallsburg wastewater treatment plant upgrade. It's a massive $100 million plus upgrade. It will require, amongst other things, a upgrade in the electrical lines and, Verizon, other things like that. So, part of the plan is to bury some of these lines on the edge of the property. In order to make that work, we need to acquire a little sliver of the driveway for the neighbor on the right. So we did have an agreement for like $20,000 to purchase it from them, and we're pretty much at the finish line, and they decided that they wanted us to buy the entire property, including the house. And we're not looking to purchase the house. So we're essentially going through the eminent domain process to be able to take that property and give them the fair market value of what it's worth. Could be more or less than $20,000, I don't know, but that is the process. And part of that process is to hold a public hearing to that effect. So would anyone like to speak on this matter tonight?
I heard something like,
Ma'am, please step up,
come to the
give us your
front.
name.
Well, my
You have
name
to
is
come all the way up.
Florence. My name is Florence,
Just-
but you said like they're gonna buy the property, but the city or the state, even though it's that amount, like, they could take that from you anytime. You don't have to buy it. I don't know, he's the attorney, but the space in front of your property when you have the line in the street.
This is something different. What you're talking about is highway taking. What this is
But it's not
there's a
almost the same
question, there's a
thing?
question of the boundary line. There's certain improvements that are over and certain things, certain space that needs to be taken up with these wires and conduits and so on. So it's called eminent domain. We're taking it for a public purpose, and the process requires identification of the property, which is on a survey, and then there's basically a litigation over what the value is. So, but it's a forcible taking. It's not a voluntary sale. We tried to go the voluntary sale route, and the neighbor was not
Even you
interested.
allow, but the state is allowed to
We're
do
not the
that.
state.
But they tell you like, you know, they could come in and if they have to do road work or
That's
whatever.
something, yeah, that's true, but that's not this.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak on the public hearing matter tonight? Is anyone online that would like to speak on this matter? So if that's the case, I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion. Second.
All right, which is which?
Try that again.
I'll take either one.
You got a motion, I'll take a second.
I know, it's,
You got that, Paula?
I did.
Okay.
That was a tough one, guys.
And I'm a vote for yes to close the public hearing. All right, so now we can move on. I don't have a supervisor's report tonight. Paula, do we have any correspondence?
No, I do not.
No correspondence, then I would like to move on to public comments.
Okay, first, we have,
So I just want to say, Well, I'll call them up first.
That's all right, why don't you go ahead and say what you have to say?
So, public comment is just that, it's not really designed to be a question and answer. If you do have any questions about anything on the agenda tonight, please ask all the questions you need, we will take notes, and then when you get to that item on the agenda, I will try to address any and all of those questions. If you have any questions about anything that's not on the agenda tonight, you can still ask the question, we'll take notes, you can leave your information with us, and we will get back to you if we can get obtained information for you. And also, every speaker has a time limit of 3 minutes. So, who's our first speaker?
Helene Hokel,
Oh, yeah.
can you spell your last name for me?
Hoedl,
What is it?
Hoedl, H-O-E-D-N.
H-O-D-E.
E-E-D-N.
Okay, all right, ma'am, please come up here to the front.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Yeah, I have written quite a few times to the town board, to the code enforcement, to Mr. Crawley about the sapphire development in Mountaindale. I've done so last year and I've done this year, and the two main concerns are the lights. There are floodlights along the road on the courts there that are really blinding. If you come up, especially if you come up, but if you come down too, I mean, it's really a safety hazard, a travel issue, which Mr. Brawley agreed, and he and I think another town member went there to confirm it, and he actually took a video and said they would address it. Mr. Brawley called me personally, which I really appreciate. But so far, this was like a week ago, so far the lights are still on. Sometimes people play, but it's on the whole night. So it's a safety issue. I think it's also a light pollution issue. I mean, yeah, like lights, floodlights. I mean, you really do not need lights on your car to drive, and it blinds you. And I think it's also a waste of energy to have these blinding lights. The second issue, so I would like to know when action will be taken and if action will be taken. The second issue are the screening trees. There are tiny little screening trees there. I already reported it last year. They've been dead, most of them, probably about 80%. There are very few are planted, a few are alive. Last year I reported it. I was told, yes, we know, or we will look into it. This year I reported it again. I was told that they are germinating, which I thought it was a joke. I know developments or have to have screening trees. They should also be properly taken care of. They have not been watered, most of them. So I would also like to know when they will be replanted, if they will be replanted, and how it will be enforced that they are planted and taken care of. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pam Wagner,
Both sides of the page. Good evening, Town Board. My main request tonight is clarification. I'd like to better understand the standard protocol that the building department and code enforcement follow when it comes to stop work orders, permits, inspections, and certificates of occupancy. On the town's own notice of violation form, it dates that when a violation is documented, for example, building without a permit, a stop work order means that no more work shall be done until the violation is corrected. Yet, in the case of 40 Church Road LLC, the property was purchased on June 9th this year. A stop work order was issued on June 12th because there was no building permit. Despite that, construction continued on the property. Then on July 25th, a building permit and a certificate of occupancy were both issued on the very same day. That does not appear to align with the way the law is written to work. Adding to this concern, the violations, the building permit, and the CO were addressed to Kathy Farris, the previous owner, and not 40 Church Road LLC. In cases like this, shouldn't someone be making the official documents are sent to the correct property address, or the property owners? So I'd like to ask some questions to help clarify. For the stop work orders, When a stop work order is issued, does that mean all work must stop immediately until the owner comes to the building department for a permit? How long does the department wait before following up? Is there a tracking system for reinspection? And if the owner continues work without a permit, what recourse does the department have? Access and enforcement. If a property owner refuses inspection, what steps are taken? Do you request assistance from the police department? Is a warrant required to gain access? Property ownership records. When violations are issued, does your office cross-check the deed or tax roll to be sure that the notice is sent to the actual property owner and not a previous one? Permits and certificates of occupancy. It is considered standard practice, is it considered standard practice for a building permit and a certificate of occupancy to be issued on the same day? My understanding is that the correct sequence should be first a permit, then the work, then inspection, and finally the CO. I am raising these questions to understand the procedures and ensure they are applied consistently and transparently. The public deserves to know how this process works. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Anyone else sign?
Mary Adams.
Evening. So I'm just following up on the light issue up on Bud Road. The sound has gotten better because everybody's gone home. So, you know, nothing was done about it, but they went home. So that's good. But the lights are still shining from Todd Road over to Bud. And I brought this up 3 weeks ago, and then brought up the light issue. I'm just wondering, I mean, if we hired an electrician, could we actually go with the building department to get it done? I mean, I know that he's probably busy, but it's not a difficult thing to do. So I'm just wondering, for the rest of this summer, because they're gonna be camping up there until the end of October, can we do something? And I don't know what it would take, and I'll go to the building department and talk to them. I have not done that. But I just feel like this is not a really difficult thing to get done, I don't think. So it would be really great to get it done. Thank you. It was one of the things, but I can't remember this. Thank you.
Anybody else who'd like to sign in to speak tonight?
No, I didn't get a chance this time. Good evening, town board, chairman, and Jerry Soda. I just want to follow up on the road situation I've been talking about it now for quite a while. And it seems like nothing is happening there.
Well, let him
ahead.
speak first, so that
Go ahead.
he can get public comment.
Maybe you'll save me some words.
I'll save you some words. And order to show causes to be prepared and will be filed shortly.
Okay, good. But the point of it is they've been using the facility all summer. The court order said that they agreed, I'll read you the terminology out of the court order. It said that they agreed, YNHK, and they've changed their name, but it's the same address, agrees not to reoccupy or use the property or any portion thereof for any use without having first applied for and received all required governmental approvals and permits for such use, and a certificate of occupancy, and the town has inspected the property to confirm that all violations have been resolved. That is dated 2024. So, as I pointed out before, you haven't been following up on that. I also would like to read the last time that they appeared publicly. This is what they claimed to be doing there. It was at the planning board session, and here's what their application is for. Where did that go? Oh, there it is. Continued review of site plan to allow a religious education facility consisting of 2 existing residential structures, 6 proposed buildings and support structures, as well as roadways and utilities. Ag zone 50 acres. I might point out that your current zoning does not allow a religious education facility. And now I understand that maybe they've changed their approach, but that's the official last document that they have filed. Now for the violations. I have 5 violations here that were all dated July 28th and 29th. All of them required a follow-up either with a building permit, re-inspection, or appearance. All those dates have passed for doing that, and I foiled the department, and there has been no action recorded that there have been any follow-up visits, and maybe it hasn't, I just did this a week ago, so, but there have been, the follow-ups were not done for any of these violations, and they require things like getting a permit. And so you come to the office and you get a permit. It's not, those aren't the serious things that they had to do. They've done nothing except use the facility.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you, Jerry. Would anyone else like to speak from the public tonight? Simon,
I got it.
Yes, James McGarry. This is probably for the attorney. In reading all of the documents that Jerry was referring to, it's my understanding that way back last year, the courts, when they were adjudicating this, fined the owners $48,000, I believe was the number. And they paid a good portion of that, if not all of it. So my question is now that they've broken all of the rules that the judge originally put on them and have been doing everything that you all are well aware of, you've all seen the pictures, will the town now again be able to, through the court system, demand additional fines for them not having conformed with the orders that a superior court judge gave them? It would seem to me if there is no financial burden put on these people and others like them, there's no reason for us to even discuss it anymore. Thank you.
Thanks, James. Anybody else? Is there anybody online? Nope.
okay, if no one else wants to speak, then I will go ahead and close the public comment portion, and we will move on to our department head updates.
I'll be reading for Harris Zaleski for the parks.
And that's the first one up.
A big thank you to the town board and the community for a wonderful July 4th celebration. It was well received. We had a great turnout, and we look forward to expanding and continuing to provide this event for the community. We had a lot of fun and cannot wait for next season. We renovated certain areas of the garden in Lot Sheldrick in preparation for the installation of Borscht Belt marker. It was a wonderful turnout and really added some more beauty to the area. Our Sullivan 180 is just about done. Located in Mountaindale, we have successfully, with the tremendous help of the highway department, paved and lined the court. We now have basketball and pickleball to offer, as well as installation of new light pole. The area has been topsoiled, gravel, set up with new picnic tables, benches, a message board, a bike rack, and trash receptacles. The lights will be hooked up shortly, and once the fall comes, we will be able to plant our new gardens. We are really looking forward to that benchmark to complete the project. The community has been regularly using the pickleball court, which is great to see, and we are very excited for the future. On the same subject, we have 2 new pickleball courts at Morningside Park. The court has been paved and lined, and we are 75% done with the fence and will be opening the court in the upcoming days. We have had a substantial number of phone calls with people eager for the opening. We continue to prepare our daffodil project coming up on September 28th at Morningside Park. We have our areas prepped for planting. We will be planting 3,000 daffodils as part of the Worldwide Daffodil Project. We are excited to be part of this project. The project's initiative is to plant 1.5 million daffodils in remembrance of the 1.5 million children who perished during the Holocaust. Last year, the organization reached 1 million, and we are fortunate to be part of such a meaningful project. We will be posting flyers in the upcoming days for the event and are looking forward to volunteers who would like to be part of this special event. Another project we are nearing completion is our new soccer field located at Morningside Park by the football field. Thank you again to the highway and also to Pat and the golf course crew for helping us accomplish this project. The field is filled in with topsoil, has been graded and prepped for seeding. It will be a great addition to our ball field and great addition to our community to utilize for years to come. On top of the various projects we have throughout the town, we have also been busy with daily landscaping, garbage removal, and beautification around the town and parks. At Morningside Park, we have been having another successful season for our boats. Daily boating has been nonstop since the season started. We thank the public for their love of using our park and lake for their enjoyment. It is a beautiful setting, and we hope to continue the success of our prior years and expand and come up with new ideas to provide to the public. We have provided numerous events for our seasonal campers at Morningside and Mountaindale, ranging from barbecues to comedy shows, bands, pig roasts, and more. Thank you to all our seasonal campers. We continue to be of any assistance wherever the town needs us daily. We are here to help the community in any way we can. I hope you all have a wonderful night. Thank you, Harris Zaleski.
Thank you. All right, next up would be our town assessor, Amy.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Winnie.
How are you?
Thank you.
Okay, so, final roll is done. School rolls went out, and we have 4 school districts in our town. So we've got Fallsburg, Liberty, Tri-Valley, and Monticello. We create the rolls for whatever parcels are in our town that is in that district. Those tax bills should be sent out soon, probably the end of the month, beginning of September. So this now runs us into our address changes. If anybody needs address changes, they need to call the office. Basic Star, Enhanced Star credit checks need to be, they need to call New York State for that. We're gonna get a run on that, I'm sure. So that's kind of where we are right now with our tax rolls. This will run us right until the very beginning of November. And pretty much shortly after that, we have to do our abstract roll and then the roll for the January tax bills, and that will be the end of the year for us. So our July and August data collector report, again, please remember, all these numbers are very fluid. These numbers change every day. Permits closed, new permits are taken out, but down there toward the middle, the current 1353 for the town of Fallsburg. We take care of Woodridge, so we've got a few hundred in the Woodridge. Our deed count is pretty large. Right now, we're at 177, and 58 extra are developmental deeds that we haven't put in yet. Those are pending, but they'll go in. That's first page. Second page, current developments, basically all we did here is there's some changes of percentage from the previous report you've been given. There are quite a few at 100% right now. 100% doesn't mean they're done, it just means that the basic building is done, decks, finished basements, whatever else they're gonna do is still in the works. So that is your current development. And then the last upcoming developments, most of these are just in planning, there really is nothing yet that has surfaced. In Woodridge, we do have the one down there, Old Falls at the bottom, across the street from Resort. That's a pretty big one. I don't know, they may go condo, but that's all Woodridge. So, but we have to take care of that. I have gotten nothing for the Village of a Terrace yet. I was just speaking with Richard about that, trying to figure out when, how, and if, but that's something that I'm sure will come. We have about 19 parcels in that village, but we do have over 200 acres that are open, so that will probably be developed shortly. And we will have so let's see, so we got our school tax roll. Anybody who needs a STAR program, please call New York State, call my office to get that information. anything that's a basic star that you should already have, that'll come right off your bill. The only other thing that we're doing right now is, so RPS is going away. Our New York State system is being upgraded by New York State. This has been in the works for about 8 years. They're really promising us that this time it's gonna really happen. So, what we have to do now is, on top of all the other work that we have, and the fact that our 2026 roll is now a work in progress, and now we're building for our next roll, we are going to have to go into RPS and correct all our errors that the new RPS will not accept. It's gonna be a very big undertaking, because we have close to 11,000 parcels, but we have to attach everything, even historical parcels have to be corrected. So we started this process a few years ago when they first started this whole thing, and then stopped, because they really weren't sure what they were doing, but now it looks like it's gonna come through sometime next year. So one of the big things we have to do is we have to update our pictures in our system. At the moment, Wesley's got 333 parcels he has to visit. He's visited 154 of them as of today. So that's just something where, from the side of the road, if anyone sees us, that's all we're doing. We just have to update the pictures for our New York State system. I'm just trying to see what else. Wesley, so this fall, Wesley and Paulette are gonna be going out to all the developments to get our updates. Then our percentages will start to change on those reports that you see. Easier to go in the fall, and we also don't disrupt anybody, we don't wanna, get in anybody's way, but all those percentages will start to change, as the developments have finished, and it's after March 1st. I believe that is pretty much it, unless there's something else. I do have one thing I do want to give you guys though. So I sent you an email earlier today. Did anybody see my email?
Yes.
Okay. I also printed it just in case. So, this one now. Okay.
So Winnie, if you want to leave Sean and Miranda's with me, I'll make sure.
I do. Thank you. And that is all. If there's any questions, anything anybody has? No? We're good? Good? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Winnie.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Okay. TJ wasn't able to make it in tonight. He had a personal matter.
I have something for him.
Do you want to read it?
Oh, you wanna read it? Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna,
Oh, you
if
read so
we,
much better.
if we've already received it and it's been entered into the minutes, do we need to read it out loud?
I mean, it depends if you want, it's for the people. I would read it if, go ahead, read it.
Let's see if there's what information is on it that's. Alright, basically, I guess the part here that's relevant, we're currently winding down our summer rush, focusing on seasonal operating, closing inspections. The inspectors are doing their everyday building inspections, issuing grass/garbage violations, going after complaints called into our office. We're also prepping to see more building permit applications, violations, municipal searches, FOIL requests, etc. Thank you, I look forward to seeing everyone soon. Then we give some statistics on the number of permits, inspections, total inspected, outstanding, as well as violations. Edwin, you see the copy?
No,
No?
no,
Nobody
I
see
only gave
this?
that to you.
The-
Oh, in their mailboxes, they have the charge.
They have, yes, okay. I wanna make sure they have a copy. You standing with this? Yeah. Alright, so if that's the case, then we can move on to our agenda items for tonight. Alright, number one, motion to approve town board minutes dated 8/19/25.
Motion. Second.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor, aye. Number two, I'm gonna look to table this, because I do not remember going over warrant 08/8/25. Didn't see it on my desk this past week. Okay, so, we need at least 3 yeses to vote, I'm not ready to vote, so I'd like to push this off to next week's
Can
agenda.
we have to have a motion for that?
Sorry,
I need a motion.
Motion table for next week.
Thank you.
Second.
and I'm in favor. Alright, number 3, motion to accept resignation of Lynn Val Morris, enforcement officer, effective 8/17/25.
Motion. Second.
I have a motion and second, and I'm in favor, motion passes. Number 4, motion to approve Park Manager Arnold Seletsky final payout of unused time upon retirement for a total of $13,679.63.
Motion, second.
I have a motion and a second, and I am in favor. Motion passes. Number 5, motion to approve employment of Michael Koshetsky as a high school SRO with a salary of $92,838 effective September 1st, 2025.
Motion, second.
A motion and a
Who is he?
second.
Wait a minute, 92,000, who is he? For
I
what?
have a motion and a second, and I'm gonna vote in the affirmative, the motion passes. I just want to address one quick thing. We're hiring this person as SRO. Under the union contract, the salary is set to this amount in the union contract. So we do not have the option to go less or more. So if they wanted more and we think they deserve more, we cannot give it to them unless we renegotiate the
What's
contract.
an SRO?
Yeah,
School resource officer.
What?
Yeah.
School resource officers.
And then the other piece to consider, I don't know if it's really, how relevant it is, but it is something that's important, is all of our SROs are paid 100% by the school district. So it's not a tax, a burden to our taxpayers from their, I guess their, from their town property tax bill, possibly in their school property tax bill. You know, eventually it all comes back, but it's not like a double charge. It's not like we're paying them and then the schools has that responsibility. School is paying for that, to have that security.
May I ask, what it actually is a resource officer? Is it a new name for something? Because I don't remember from back in school, because that's been a long time.
I cannot get into that. It's been established many, many years. You
What
can
is
easily
it?
Google it.
Google it.
No, they're responsible for day-to-day security in the school as well as teaching DARE and those sorts of things. They're more like DARE,
Drunk
it's the
driving,
drug,
sheriff's
alcohol.
office for young adults.
We can get someone from the police department to do that.
But they are from the police. They're our officers. And so typically a school district, you know, they are a different municipality in a sense. You know, they have the power to raise taxes, they have the power to provide security. So in a sense, they have, can I have everyone's attention, please? We need to quiet it down. So in a sense, they have the power to create their own police department and, you know, and give them accreditation on the state level. However, it's not really cost effective to do that. So it would be easier to contract with the local police department. For 90% of the schools in Sullivan County, they contract with the sheriff's department. You know, we contract with our police department. So.
This officer's also already trained as an SRO. He came from the sheriff's department, so he has the training as a DARE officer and an SRO, so we don't have to take the time and effort to train one of our own.
And are they shared for all 4 districts or whatever?
We have 2 schools and we have 2 SROs. One has been in the elementary school for a couple of years now. The most recent high school SRO was promoted to Sergeant Brooks, so he left a void in the school and we need to fill it.
Cool, thank you.
Well, does he work in Tri Valley then too, or because Tri Valley?
No, that's not.
It's just the Fallsburg district and that's what we provide for.
Property taxes, the school taxes, we have 4 school districts in our town, but Fallsburg School District has multiple towns in their school district. So there's us, there's some Liberty, some people from Liberty area and everything. There's Ellenville, there's some people in Ellenville that pay Fallsburg school taxes. So the school tax, that's their own, but they have multiple towns that pay the Fallsburg school tax. In our town, we have 4 school districts that I prepare a roll for, and just depending on where those homes are. That's how that works.
Okay.
Thank you.
That was an education.
So number 6, all right, so the last 2 resolutions were on last week's agenda and it was tabled to this week. Number 6, all this does is it sets the current rates for the tow list.
It really doesn't even do that. This is a technical correction, it kind of went sideways last meeting. It's a technical correction in our statute, with a statute, this is a non-substantive commentary because I am recused from the substance. But in our statute, chapter 283, there are various provisions. There also is in our E-code an attachment 1 authorizing towing and road service and storage rates, that when it got to general code, they said, hey, where's this attachment? So this is a technical correction, it doesn't actually change substance.
Meaning the rates could have already been.
The rates are already,
in practice.
the rates were already in the statute that this board passed. But this is an attachment that's part of the code, it shows up on our webpage. That's all.
That's what I was saying, I had to send it to E-code because they got part 1 of it, but they did not get the second part, which we're doing now. They had to have the whole thing to put up on the E-code.
So are the rates?
The rates, you already set the rates, yes.
You already said
You
yes?
set them in the statute, it just happens to be, the way that E-codes has it set up, there's this attachment 1, which reiterates the rates.
So the body of the statute has.
It already has the
information
rates,
there.
you're not
Nothing
changing
changed.
anything, it's just a technical correction.
Okay. So resolution number 66 of 2025, authorizing adoption by the town board of 283 attachment 1 to the town of Fallsburg tow law.
Motion.
A motion and a second, and I am in favor, and the resolution passes. Number 7, so I'll explain this again, I explained it last week. So, from time to time, the town has to engage in outside counsel whenever we have certain conflicts of interest. So, if, our town attorneys provide legal services to, not only to the board, but also to each individual department. If they seek legal services, we provide those services. However, there are situations where there could be a conflict of interest in any one of the departments, or with the board, or with other town officials, that makes it difficult for them to properly engage with the current chain of command structure that may be. So from time to time, we have to bring in outside specialists, either technical experts or legal experts, to provide that service. In this case, there's one, says here, a certain code enforcement issue that our building department cannot handle and our town attorneys cannot handle. So we have to bring outside specialists to be able to handle that. With regard to the town attorney, with the legal counsel, or the special counsel, we did have Marvin Newberg that was assisting us with this case. However, unfortunately, he has passed on. So we need to find a different counsel. And this law firm approached us to take over his work at the same rate. So that's what we're going to do. They're not going to provide services in general to the town. They provide services for conflicts of interest for a very specific code enforcement issue. And if other issues do come up, we could utilize them as well if we decide to.
Can I ask you something in respect to that, Mike? If this person was a regular resident of the town, it would have been handled by the appropriate people, such as the town lawyer and the code enforcement. Now, in a situation where, let's just say that somebody's house was supposed to be demolished, and they gave them the option to demolish it, and they said, since you're not gonna demolish it, we're going to demolish it ourselves, and we're gonna put a lien on your property. And I'm wondering, is it appropriate for this particular person who is not a resident, a regular resident of the town, that is causing this situation, which I was hoping that maybe a conversation with the whole town board could clarify what had happened, that we wouldn't be stuck as taxpayers with the bill of having this special code enforcement and special lawyer. So what I'm asking is that, is it appropriate for the taxpayers to pay for something because of this particular situation?
So this specific instance is for a very specific matter. It does not have to do with that property next to yours for which you have a financial interest in.
No, I know.
Okay,
I know.
just wanted to clarify that. This has nothing to do with that. This is for a very different specific
No, I
matter.
know.
But the point being made is, why couldn't the town do exactly the same? Clean up your mess, or we'll do it and we'll charge you for it.
Right.
That's essentially what Sam is saying.
We can discuss this after the meeting. I don't think it's an apples to apples comparison. We can go over the nuances, but this specific issue has nothing to do with that property that's for
No,
which
we're
you're
not
looking
talking
to
about the
purchase.
property, we're talking about
The way things are done.
favoritism and special treatment. I mean, each person, whether you are a council person or someone who works in the government, and either you're showing favoritism to them in some way or you're not. And I think that people should be equally
So,
treated.
again, we can discuss the nuances,
Okay.
but,
That's the
you
elephant.
know,
Okay.
it's a far
Can I say
stretch to
I would just like to answer that, if that's okay. I don't know how we could be more clear with not showing favoritism by looking to hire outside enforcement and legal staff from out of the area that doesn't have a conflict to handle the situation.
I get that. Why is there a conflict? That's the point. It's like, okay,
There-
my,
I can give you 50 different examples of conflicts of interest. You know, all of them apply equally. We're out of an abundance of caution. We're diligence and ensure that we have proper representation.
Okay,
Okay.
motion.
All right, I have a motion to approve. I have a second, and I am going to vote to approve. So the resolution is passed. That's it for our agenda items. Now we have one discussion item for tonight.
No, yeah.
Oh, we have two add-ons. So before we get to our discussion items, I just want to get to, we have two add-ons. I can explain it, but I feel like Richard could probably do a better job on this, especially with the decommissioning plan.
Right under the bus. So, we have two solar projects that are pending in the town and have been approved as a condition of all solar projects. And consistent with state law, the applicant is required to provide a decommissioning plan, a decommissioning agreement, and bond decommissioning should the solar plant ever cease being used as a solar plant. So these are conditions of the planning board and conditions of state law, and it's consistent with all of the rules and regulations governing solar, because you don't want the solar plant to run out of its useful life and then just abandon the thing there, and then all the steel and all of the wires and all of the solar panels to decommission and dispose of, which is not in the town's forte. So these agreements were developed in conjunction with the applicant, the planning board, and the engineers, and in compliance with the rules and regulations to make sure that the town is protected, and in the event that the solar plant ceases being used as a solar plant, there's a fund, a bond that's necessary, that's in place, which is periodically reviewed and increased if there are increases in the cost. I forget the formula, I think it's 5 years, 2.5% or something, to make sure that there's a fund available should decommissioning not take place in accordance with the agreement. And the agreement further provides that as long as it's in place, you have to provide satisfactory financial assurance that it'll be taken down, that either you're gonna take it down or there's a fund necessary. So that's what these two agreements are, and it just requires a motion to approve it, and then they're able to go ahead. It's one of the final steps before they are able to build.
Okay. And what was the reason we couldn't put on next week's agenda? Was there a?
There are some deadlines for construction and so on, they have to get to work. So it interferes with closings and other things that have been in place. These solar plants take a long highway to plan on, and at the end, it gets tight as far as deadlines that they are up against for continuing the project.
So they're saying they're gonna be negatively affected?
Negatively impacted, correct. That's the only reason it was added on. If there wasn't gonna be a negative impact of the projects, we would just let it go.
Got it. Okay. So, add-on number 1, motion to approve Cypert Road Solar Project Decommissioning Plan Agreement and Bond Surety, SPL 9-1-36.5.
Motion.
I have a motion and a second, and I'm gonna vote yes. So
Bless
motion
you.
passes. Bless you. Number 2, motion to approve Frank Brown Solar Project Decommissioning Plan Agreement and Bond Surety, SPL 28-1-18.1.
Motion.
I
Second.
have a motion and a second. I'm in favor, therefore, motion passes. And now we can move on to our discussion item for tonight. So, Lovers Lane Sewer District Discussion, SBL 60-1-10.2, now Village of Terrace, SBL 400.1-14, presented by Joseph Einhorn.
Here's the plan of what I want to do 7 years ago. It was pushed off 3 times. Because we didn't know that I'm in a sewer district. Finally, I got papers from the government that I am in a sewer district. With this small piece here. So I am in the village now, village of Terrace. They allow me to put it illegal, but I need sewage from town of Fallsburg. And I didn't know that I am in a sewer district. Just got notice that I am in a sewer district. And here's the plan from my engineer. And here's it's a forced main, and we have to use a forced main for the main. Here's the thing from my engineer to put in. Need permission.
So there is a sewer main going outside of the property or the road?
In the center of the road, there is a forced main coming from outside.
So we're not gonna have to extend the sewer line out to the property, we already have a sewer line
It's
across,
a front.
and you're in the district.
Yep. And here is the picture of the.
So
So what's the issue?
Would,
You need
are
permits?
these approved plans?
Well,
Are these approved plans by the planning board?
it was approved for 2 singles.
Okay, so
5
this
years
is
ago.
3 twos.
3 doublets, because
Got
I am now in a village.
Understood. I just would point out to the board that the date of these plans is May 2022, before the village existed. The Village of Terrace does exist. The Village of Terrace has its own zoning. His first step would be to go to the Village of Terrace to get approval for whatever it is that they're going to.
They approved it. They told me that I need sewage. And they don't have it
So their planning board has approved this?
Yes.
Do you have?
And that's for my engineer. We want to put in the corner.
This is, these are septic tanks and grease traps.
That's the thing.
Who has approved your plans? What board? Did the planning?
That village is not approving it before you tell me that I can have sewage.
Well, we can coordinate that, but it's backwards. The Village of Terrace has to do a planning and zoning process. They have to go through it, and at that process, you will have to demonstrate that. But if you're telling us that it's been approved, it can't be approved without sewer.
No,
We also have a question, hold on. I'm coming to this, I'm seeing this firsthand, so I see where it is. I don't know where the mains are. This is something for the sewer department to talk about.
That's for my engineer. Here's the plan.
Yeah, this-
Pump in. And I need permission from town of Fallsburg to pump in. Then they're gonna give me the permission to put the houses.
Right, okay.
Richard, a very long time ago, I'm talking a while ago, there's paperwork showing that his particular lot, the old lot, Mr. Einhorn, 10.2? What was your Fallsburg?
SPL.
Yes,
10.2.
10.2, okay. Was, what could be hooked up into our sewer, but all the costs laid on the person who was going to do it, the owner. So, and this is an agreement that's way back.
Is it an actual written agreement?
This is an yeah, this is-
1988.
Oh,
With
there.
Mr. Lasagna, there was an agreement that we can put 6 units in here.
And I assume you spent a bunch of money to vest your rights in this approval? That
Did you
is
say 6 units or 60
1988?
units? 6 units.
It's on the tax bill, it says 6 units, hooked up to the sewer.
On 2 acres. Yeah, but then again, they'd be subject to they'd be subject to the density restrictions of the village, right? not ours. Right, so the issue is you're just looking to connect into the Fallsburg
So
sewer.
in 1988, the cost to hook in was $180,000. So that has to be designed and estimated again. Then we would have to investigate this.
So we have established that you're in the sewer district.
And can
There
you?
is a
can-
sewer line outside of the property.
Are you able to get, are you able to get whatever instructions that the Village of Materras has required you to do in writing?
Like if they want you to come here first to get the approval before.
What is
you
it
get-
that they want? What is it that they've approved? How is it they've done it?
That plan.
No, I understand you're telling me that.
But subject to have
No,
sewage.
no, look, it may be totally approved, it may be all fine. However, I have a basic problem. If I don't see it in writing, it didn't happen. So what I need from you is the instructions from the Village of Materras as to what they're asking the town to do. And what other conditions they're putting
They
on it.
asked me.
No, but you're not, you're not hearing me. You're not hearing me. They've given you conditions. Did they send you a letter saying, do A, B, C, D in the town of Fallsburg sewer? Did you, do you have conditions for this approval? What is it that they gave you? Or is it just, you walked in, what do you want to do? Yeah, go ahead, do whatever you want, just get it for
You get a plan from an
Get
engineer.
it in
Ask you
writing,
permission.
get it in writing, please. Also, this is a partial, I don't know, I'm not sure what, I mean, this is a tax map, I'm not sure what exactly it is.
This is the plan of the tank. It's have to hold 6,000 gallons.
Yeah, but
It's
did
the
they
water
give you,
tank.
did they give you a direction? Did you make an application? Is there something in writing that shows us what you're doing so I can understand what you're doing?
I'm giving you everything here.
I
So,
This
but
is the
but you're
plan.
saying, sir, but you're
This is the plan
saying,
from my engineer, that's what he gave
but
me.
you're saying that the village is good with this, they just want you to come and get the sewer from us, and then they're okay
And
with it?
once I get the writing from town of Fallsburg, that I can hook up sewage.
So, that,
They have no issues, they give you permission.
and that's what they want you to do?
Yeah.
Perfect. Give us a letter saying that, that's all we need.
From
And-
Materras Village?
Yeah, and that's the first step in working through this process, right? Because
Can you write down
typically,
on the paper what I have to bring you?
whatever they want,
English, yes.
Can you write it down here?
No,
whatever they want from you, give us a letter saying what they want.
Or do you want some?
They want me to bring a letter from town of Fallsburg.
right, but they
No,
need
no,
to,
no.
To tie in the sewage.
That's easy, okay. Give us a letter saying that they want the letter.
They want the letter.
Yes.
So when should I bring?
Okay, so
Where you should bring,
In here
to
next
us.
week,
Yeah,
next Tuesday?
you can bring to
Email it
the
to me.
town.
Email it or
This is-
drop it off.
Can you write down an email?
Yeah, you have to.
I'll email it.
Email, I can ask the Terrace Village to email.
Yeah, I think that would be the best way to move forward. So we have something official in writing.
But you want something more.
No, that's all
I
we
really
want.
don't. I really want to know what the Village of Terrace told you to do in writing. I have no
They
doubt,
need
I have no
writing
doubt,
permission.
I have no doubt that you're accurately reporting it. I know you reported what they told you. Whatever they told you, they should tell you to do that, and then I'll look at it and we'll go through it and figure it out. In other words, they give you instructions, correct?
I'll tell them to put it in writing.
I'm not good with English.
Got it.
They
So-
asked me to take an engineer, make a plan for the sewage, and get
I
it approved
understand
by
that.
town.
That's
I
good.
understand that. That's
Yeah,
excellent.
but they
That's
need to
correct.
tell us that in
But
writing.
either
The letter.
they need to tell you that in writing, or tell the town that in writing.
Yeah.
In other words, put down their instructions. They gave you instructions, correct?
Yes.
Do all of this? Have them put their instructions
Can
in
you write down
writing.
here what they need to send in here? Or you have a different email?
No.
I can have them from
Janice
China.
gonna go.
Send it to me and I'll forward it on.
Okay.
You gotta understand, it's only because the process is a little different than what we're used to. Typically, you get the approvals first and then come to us and then we decide, you know, the sewer. But now you're saying that the village wants us to decide the sewer first and then they decide the things. That could be fine. We need to know from them that's what they want. And, you know, maybe a phone call is fine, but we want more than a phone call. We just want an actual
And
letter.
then the other thing is,
They gotta
I see,
send that.
no, I see you've engaged Riley Engineering. They're very good at this. You can also have them walk you through it, just pay them to do whatever it is that they do. They're very familiar with the process. At Terrace, it's a little new, just happened.
I believe Riley pulled out on this project, didn't he?
But Riley is no more.
Okay.
I have another engineer.
All right, so that engineer should know how to do it as well.
David,
Well, you can still pull forward.
an older man. Something in front of you.
Yeah.
Riley is busy, so I went to, he's my new engineer. And he gave me those plans, those papers, this one.
All right, so what you should do is, in addition to what you've agreed to, you should assign him getting you approval. In other words, get your engineer to do it. The problem is, the reason you're struggling is it's technical.
Engineers are the people.
I understand it, but he knows where Sullivan County is. I know David Ryan.
But you see in here, it says that I have to make no permits. I have to get all the permits, my engineer's not coming down to make.
I understand that, then you need
Please
somebody,
note.
you need
Maybe an
somebody
attorney or
else. The
something?
most important thing that you need is excluded from this retainer. You need to find someone that will do the, please note,
Okay, so I need a letter from the Terrace Village.
as to what they want.
I need an
And you
engineer
need
to
an
come
engineer.
down?
You're taking the path of maximum resistance this way. Get an engineer that's familiar with the way the process works and hire them to do this.
But he told me that.
He may not do
Met
it.
with the town engineer on that.
I don't know what he did.
David Ryan represents a lot of
Who's
clients
town
in this
engineer?
town and elsewhere.
He lives in Binghamton, yeah?
Yes, and David represents a lot of clients here. He knows
Huh.
his way here.
So David should contact you.
No,
No.
absolutely not.
Okay, so-
You should contact Jim.
I actually just spoke with him today, but not about this.
No,
Right.
you have to go through the process. An engineer would be able to go through the process because they're very familiar with this.
So he has to come down, because he gave me those papers.
I understand he gave you the papers, but he knows how to explain the papers. You don't know how to explain the papers. In other words, it's not
Should
your
I bring him
area.
on phone?
No, never do it. We've already given you more courtesy than ordinary, but it is a discussion, so we're discussing. So ordinarily, just understand.
I'm not good with English, what's part of the.
All right.
So,
Now, slow down. In the normal course of events, you would get an engineer, they would figure all of this out, figure out who they need to apply to, whether it's a town, or they need to apply to the town, and they do that for you. You hire them to do that.
Then they give you the.
And
and I
then
can sit home.
No, you can't sit home, you gotta come and charm the board, and be charming, and have a smile, and explain what you need, okay? But you need your, well, I don't know, you may need an attorney, you may not, but usually this is something, given the size of the project, that's handled by an engineer. So you have to see if he's able to handle that for you, or you need someone locally to present it for you, because you don't know your way through this process. Do you understand?
It's, rather than do it yourself, it's easier to engage an expert that knows all the little details that can work with this.
And there are also, because the village of Terrace is so new, there's new issues that none of us have seen yet, like this. This is new, because the terrace didn't exist in 2022. A terrace just happened.
Yeah.
It's a new village. There are agreements to figure out which entity does what. In other words, a terrace has to do certain things, Fallsburg has to do certain things, Town of Thompson has to do certain things. This is all new. But this, someone's gonna have to go through, look at the rules in the terrace, and then come here to see if it's feasible to extend the sewer lines. And at what cost, and so on. Because there's gonna need to be engineers. Your engineer is gonna have to propose a hookup that complies with our
So
engineer.
I'm gonna talk to Village of the Terrace. I want them to contact you.
No, you don't want them to come.
They can contact him with a letter,
The letter?
saying what it is they want from
They
the
can
town
contact
and
me
from
with the
you.
letter. You're sending the letter to her. I gave you my email.
All right, so here's what I put. Jennifer's email. right?
Yeah.
Please put the Village of a Terrace instructions in writing.
Okay.
Understand?
No, all right, so give it to the
Give it to
village's
David.
I will
attorney,
understand.
you know,
Give it to David.
give it to the
And then
village
other-
attorney,
The
and
other
then.
thing that you also need to do is what language you speak in Yiddish. What do you speak?
Yeah,
Yiddish. Bring someone that can translate from English to Yiddish and Yiddish and back.
Uh-huh.
To help, to
I
help.
understand English.
You just told me you did.
Maybe nothing.
I'm not doing it on purpose.
What he's trying to do is help you help you.
Yeah.
So you need to contact the Village of a Terrace for the list. You need to have your planner help you, he'll do the work.
You'll do the work.
Yeah, okay, you got it?
You're translating for
She's translating from bound to English. And then back to bound.
Thank you.
He needs the
All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I can go
next
home.
week.
Yes.
Yeah, do you understand? But does he, you understand?
Please,
You
please,
understand
ma'am.
what he-
All right, so that was our discussion item
You're
for
done,
tonight.
thank you.
That's everything we have on our agenda for tonight. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned.
I don't know if I want to second it. All right, let's keep it going. All right, I got a second to adjourn, and I will vote in favor to adjourn, and therefore we are adjourned. Thank you very much.
You gotta wait, this man so hard.
Come on, man, I love that t-shirt. Thank you. You got it, WBOS? Yeah. You do? Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I love it.
What time is it?
7:01.